to the tribal. Welcome to the tribal podcast, where everybody chooses their tribe and we all fight. The Civil War is here. The culture war is on your doorstep, people.
Wake the fuck up. Everybody's always talking about, oh, there's no civil war. Well, guess what? It's called the culture war. So, yeah, why don't you wake the fuck up? We have a cultural civil war going on, okay?
Yeah, I've been just reading and looking at stuff. I mean, everybody is really tribal now. I mean, it's not like news. I'm not breaking any new ground by saying that, but sorry. You know what happened? My assistant didn't get in here on time, and I just am really fucking pissed. I told her to get a matcha latte. I didn't want the regular coffee. I wanted the matcha latte. And they got me the regular fucking coffee shit, and I threw it in their face and told her to get the fuck out. So she's out of a job. It's a girl. And I'm sure she's gonna write a blog about being mistreated, and I'm gonna be canceled. Okay? Yeah. She was an intern, and she wouldn't go on a date with me, and I said, "Get the fuck out of here." I only hire young, attractive girls as like assistants, and then I'm like, "Do you want to go on a date?" And when they say no, I throw a fucking latte in their face, and they cry, and they write a blog post. Yeah, what, No, I don't have an assistant. All that is joking. If somebody's somehow listening to this and doesn't know the history of a guy in his room podcast, well, I do not have a crew. This is all just me. I'm the mogul. I'm a CEO of a guy in his room. It's all me. Yeah, that's like those Hollywood stories. It's always like a guy that's like this older producer, that's like this older creep guy that's ugly, and he's like throwing lattes in the face of a intern that didn't get the right. And at some point, I think you like those guys must. It just must be a power trip thing when you're like, how. I just feel like flipping out over like the wrong, coffee or whatever. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of. Let me tell you guys something. There's a storm brewing, and it's called the culture war. That's been like a thing a lot of podcasts talk about. A lot of people talk about the culture war now instead of saying like there's a civil war. Like everybody was kind of for a while, like Tim Pool and maybe Rogan a little, but a lot of podcasts talking about there's gonna be a civil war. Like, but I think people and even I kind of expect, like, when you think civil war, you think of people literally going to battle, like taking up arms, like it's 1890 or whatever, and like and literally going into battle. That's just not how we are anymore. So I don't think that there's any way that's happening. I mean, yeah, you had the like random outbursts of protests over the summer last 2020, and I think that's the closest we'll come to real physical like fighting, like I just don't think we're gonna be in person. I mean, yeah, maybe there's gonna be. You had the January 6th fake insurrection. The Capitol riots. When really it was just a gathering that became like a riot that like randomly. I don't know. Don't get me started. Okay. There's just a fucking weird thing that they now are celebrating January 6th. Like everything becomes a meme, and then it becomes like a weird symbol. Like it's not really another 9/11 like people said. Kamala Harris said it was like Pearl Harbor, and it's like, so now I think people, just to fit their own narrative, they just say stuff like that, and it's just like, it's more of like an idea or symbol that it was as bad as that, because we hate the other side so much, we're just gonna exaggerate everything. I mean, people like can't, like, no one is just a regular person anymore. Everybody's like a meme of a person. Like, everybody like attacks Rogan, and it's clearly not about him as an individual. It's just like, we're attacking the alternative guys like Rogan that like say whatever they want. Like, we don't like that they can say whatever they want. Okay, we're just gonna squash this guy. Okay. There's like no, like, it's ridiculous. Like, I mean, I thought like like for this episode, I was just like, I think I need to just talk about how crazy everyone is now. Like, and I guess they're not literally crazy. Like, people aren't like raving mad or anything, but everybody now has their own tribe. Like, I talked to my friend about this a lot, and he's been saying that for a while. Oh, there's everybody's tribal now, and I didn't really know if I got that for a while, but now it's like clear that this is a tribal mentality. I mean, I'm not somebody that can really articulate this and make really good points. Like, a couple doctors went on Rogan and they got smeared as like anti-vax or whatever. But one thing they mentioned was this whole idea of like there's a mass psychosis going on, and they called it the mass formation psychosis. And I think maybe the mainstream news tried to smear it as like an alt-right. I mean, everything now is just, oh, he's alt-right. It's like, what is that? That means nothing to me anymore. Nobody, I don't even know if they're like, what alt-right? Who's alt-right? Is there, no one calls themselves this fake alt-right group. I mean, look, if somebody's literally a white supremacist like that Richard Spencer guy, that's who I would call alt-right. The guys at the Charlottesville rally that had the tiki torches a few years back, that's alt-right. I mean, they literally were white supremacists. That's what an alt-right should be. Now, that's like hardly anybody, let's be honest. There's no mysterious group of alt-right, like everybody's secretly alt-right if you don't like them. I mean, I'm just like somebody who, I just look stuff up. I mean, it's just weird to me that independent thinkers now are being called, they're being smeared if they go against whatever talking point. Like, I don't, I mean, it's funny because the one doctor Rogan had on, he like got the vaccine. Maybe they both did. Well, I don't know how many doctors he's had on, but the one, Robert Malone or whatever, like he co-invented the like modern vaccine or something. I mean, say what you want about the guy. I don't know why you would really smear him, because he clearly does know stuff. How can you, like, as soon as somebody says like anything bad about the COVID vaccine, I mean, they clearly, like, I don't know, it just seems like they rushed it. And there is, like, it's not like millions died because of the vaccine, but they seem to have covered up a lot of shit about it. And then you talk about that, and then they remove Rogan's like videos with the doctors. Like, that is bad. Like, there's nothing good about not being able to question, like, oh, yeah, good. Who the fuck thinks it's good to remove everything questioning, not even questioning, just saying, oh, there might be side effects to the vaccine, and everything gets removed that even talks about it? Like, we are now in Soviet Russia. Like, there's no, I mean, and anyway, that whole mass formation psychosis the guy was talking about, I was looking into that, and So that's like they were saying that's about COVID. Everybody's so divided now about vaccines, the and vaccinated people. And really, that's true. Everybody's really divided over that right now. But before that, we had the woke shit. We had the social justice stuff going on, which was we had the Trump. I guess it was more Trump versus everybody else, the MAGA people, and then they morphed into the unvaccinated. Like, how is that not crazy? That everybody now like thinks of all the unvaccinated as MAGA people. Like, there's no difference in the way they. Like, that is crazy. There's just weird, like, there has to be a bad boogeyman group that you have to be against. Like, everybody has to be in a weird tribal group where you demonize the other person. Like, before the unvaccinated, it was MAGA people. And there was other stuff with that to me. There was like the woke mobs on Twitter, the cancel culture. Everybody that they disagreed with should be canceled. There was the people, the woke people on college campuses and all that. And then there was the MAGA people. And now it's the unvaccinated. They become that, like, there's just a new target. It doesn't really matter what it is. So that, to me, is really the fascinating part about the mass psychosis theory they were talking about on Rogan. And to me, that's way more interesting than them talking about side effects of the vaccine, because I did listen to like pretty much the full interview with this Dr. Malone guy, and he's like, I didn't hear anything in there saying don't get vaccinated. I mean, I'm just like, there's just a weird Rogan becomes a cartoon character in everybody's mind. Like, oh, Rogan is going out and saying don't get vaccinated. He's saying we got to stop Rogan. Like, he's just a podcaster guy. Why is everyone like, it's just so odd. Everybody has to have a target you're like saying it has to be stopped all the time now. Like, people kind of don't even sit back and think, oh, wait, before it was Trump, every tweet he did, everybody says he has to be gone and impeached. And now it's literally just Joe Rogan and whoever says there might be side effects of vaccines or whatever. I don't even understand how this shit got so political. Like, every medical choice now is a MAGA type like movement. I mean, anyway, so this mass formation psychosis, he was saying Mattias something is the guy's name. I guess it's some professor that they were saying came up with this. And he was saying that like at some point in history, I mean, it's a really, I guess I should look up if there's, hopefully someone wrote an article and it's not just videos of this. The problem is like, you really, like, I'm sorry, whatever you think about Rogan, I mean, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there is a mainstream media versus the like independent, like alternative media now. Like, that is what the culture war is now becoming. Like, it weirdly went from like woke cancel culture to like medical to people like about healthcare because of the coronavirus. And now, like, all the MSM is going, oh, what is mass formation psychosis? Just because Rogan talked about it. Like, that's how big he is. The craziest thing about this is how big Rogan is right now. Like, and I guess for the last year or two because of coronavirus, I guess. I think that's why he's so talked about in the mainstream, because of the fact that he, I guess, didn't get vaccinated. I'm not even sure if he got vaccinated or not, but I'll have to find. Yeah. All right. This is the guy who talked about it. His website. Hold on, guys. Yeah, I mean, this is okay. It's Dr. Malone's Substack. I guess that's like a thing a lot of people have now. Substack. I would get one, but no one would go on it. Yeah, so he talks about it on his website. I guess mass formation psychosis. Says here, and I'm on Robert. What's his name? Robert W. Malone, MD. His Substack. And I have to admit something. I'm not on Twitter anymore, but I did see articles smearing this guy before I heard his Rogan interview, and he is not a crazy guy like I was thinking he might be because of the article I've just saw him smeared in the media as like a crazy guy who okay maybe he helped invent the vaccines, but he went crazy and he's a rogue quack. And then you realize no, he isn't, and the mainstream, and that's what's so scary about that we're the Soviet Russia now. I mean, I don't know how many listeners. If you saw the shows, the Chernobyl HBO show, then you kind of already have an idea of how Soviet, like, you just had to follow the state narrative, and that's really what is happening right now. And it's actually more apparent now with COVID than it was with, like, before this, even with, like, the social justice woke stuff. That's, like, what it was starting to be, and now it just became COVID vaccine stuff now. And now it's more, they made it more obvious now that they're trying to control what people think. Not even like, I mean, I know that sounds like a Alex Jones type statement, but okay. I mean, it's not like I'm not saying they're mind controlling people. I just mean they have a narrative that they, for some reason, and I mean, they probably, a lot of mainstream media probably does get paid by like Pfizer. I mean, they a lot of these senators, everybody in government, like the mainstream media, they do get paid. They have financial ties to a lot of this stuff. So it does make sense that they would have these talking points to like smear, Rogan and anybody talking about the vaccines like they're. And I don't know why they would try to smear people just like debating the vaccines. I mean, it's not like if somebody does have like say somebody has a vaccine side effect, or like say there was side effects from the vaccines in certain like groups of people, why can't you talk about that? Like, why do you have to delete it from YouTube? I mean, all right, anyway, I keep going off on rant.
I was hoping there was like a list, an easy list to read about this mass psychosis theory. Yeah, crowd psychosis.
I mean, this makes you have to admit, anybody listening, that there is like a mass groupthink going on. I mean, there has been about. I don't know how people just don't see this. I mean, I guess because I've never been like somebody who really is like a social person that needs to fit in. So maybe that makes me question stuff. I mean, that's kind of what they were saying as part of this like theory. And it's basically saying like, yeah, only 30% of the people have to believe in the like movement, meaning like the government does no wrong. Fauci is perfect. Anything he says, I'm just not going to question. Is like anything slightly critical of anything now gets removed from social media. Like, how do you not think you're in like another, like we're China or Russia now? I mean, it's one thing to just like not like Rogan or not, whatever. But like, there's clearly something going on where people are fucking like unable to be objective now. There's almost no truth now. It's just subjective. There's no reality. I don't mean to go way out there. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson, Elon Musk, simulation theory. There's no reality, everybody, guys. But I mean, anything, like, there's just it seems like there's no objective truth anymore. If everybody's saying January 6th was as bad as Pearl Harbor because they hate Trump so much that they want it to be as bad, like, there's something, I think, in their minds where they want it to seem as bad as 9/11, and it's just not, okay? I mean, I did get scared that people were running into the Capitol on January 6th. I was like, oh, this is scary. But then you look back at the pictures and everybody looks like an idiot that went in there and was just looking around like with their mouths hanging open. And I'm sure there was some organized people that maybe, I don't know, maybe somehow knew a way to get in there. I don't know, but I just like, look at this. I'm just going to type in Rogan and you'll see how slanted everything. Oh my God. Everybody's fucking obsessed with Rogan. He's almost the new Trump now. Spotify faces calls
from misinfo policy as an open letter exposes Joe Rogan's COVID lies. Fuck Rogan.
Hey guys, I'm
gonna go on a Joe Rogan anti-Rogan march. I'm gonna go near Spotify. Anybody coming with, or are you a Nazi? Because those are the two options, okay?
This is fucking ridiculous. And then I saw something that, like, another doctor went on Rogan recently, and, like, the media said, doctor, it was like, doctor slams Rogan in front of his face, like acting like he got owned by this doctor. And then like the doctor tweeted out like, I didn't really do a takedown of Rogan. We're friends and I like Rogan. And he had to say that because the media just like wants everybody to hate Rogan now. I mean, why the fuck? Like, isn't this weird to people that all of a sudden Joe Rogan is now enemy number one for no reason? I mean, I understand why you would hate Rogan if you don't know who he is and you just see these articles saying you just be like, this guy's annoying as hell because you don't even know anything. And he looks like, he just looks like a guy that's really like a jock and like a frat guy type of, he just looks like a typical like angry white guy or whatever. So if you don't know who he is and you see these articles saying he's discouraging vaccines, of course you're not going to like him, but it's just like, he's not. Nobody is that black and white. Like, everybody acts like everybody is a cartoon character of a person now. Like, I always see these things about Jordan Peterson. Like, he's a Nazi. And I'm, like, just being honest. Like, I have yet to see any opinion of his that I've thought was offensive. Like, I don't. Like, I mean, I'm sure maybe he's had some stuff about trans people that. I mean, that's a touchy subject, though, so. I haven't seen anything about him making me think he's a not like what? Like I know Rogan is called a Nazi. I've seen him been called a Nazi before. There's nothing like you just invent something. You can say whatever you want now. Everything is subjective. clearly the vaccines don't protect against COVID anymore. People seem to be getting COVID more now that are vaccinated. Like I keep seeing, oh, this entire cruise ship was vaccinated and they all got COVID. I mean, don't take my word on that. I'm just saying I might have seen that. This is what happens to Rogan. Rogan says something like that. Everybody goes, how dare he say that? He's not saying, he's a doctor. He's not saying these things as like, take my word on this. Like I listened to one of the first podcasts I used to listen to back like when podcasts weren't even that big, was Bill Burr's podcast. And he used to always say, like constantly, he used to be like, and I'm just an idiot, don't take, And he used to joke about that one day he's going to get in trouble because all this is going to be sent out as recordings and it's going to be used against him in a court case or something. He knew that this shit was going to happen. And that was before, like, cancel culture. It was probably, like, I mean, I don't know, 2009, 2010, 2011 that I'm thinking of when I used to listen to his, like, he would do his podcast used to just be, like, a telephone audio quality. And he would just do, like, a 20-minute podcast before he got, like, better equipment. Like, he didn't even have, like, what I have right now when he first started doing it. I think he was, like, he would just, like, be on the road touring, doing stand-up, and he'd just, like, do it into his phone or something. And, like, you know what the funny thing is about this? Like, all these doctors are saying don't listen to Rogan. 270 doctors out of what, the entire U.S.? That's nothing. This is fucking ridiculous. Just because he's talking to a guy about... Like, you got to understand, like, he just talks to people. He's never changed what he did. He's not going on stage giving TED Talks about what to do about COVID. He's always done the same podcast. I mean, they're just framing it as he is saying do this. He's not, like, they're acting like he literally works for the CDC. And he's giving these opinions out. Okay, I can see why people are upset about if Trump would give advice like this. If Trump had a podcast, because he was president and all, he was working for the government. If somebody's a politician, it's one thing to get upset about their... this is fucking ridiculous. And then look at this. Here's already, there's only 270 doctors that signed this bullshit letter urging Spotify to censor Rogan. Censor Joe Rogan now. He needs to be deplatformed. He needs to be shot and killed.
Censor.
Oh my God.
Good thing no one listens to me, because I'd be in trouble for just defending Rogan. This is what's funny. I just heard
the other day, or actually today. Okay, so I already laughed at the fact that it was only 270 doctors, in quotes, that wanted to censor Joe Rogan for having a fucking conversation. You can not like Rogan, but he's doing a podcast that's just people talking. That's it. That's all he's doing. So what's the problem? I mean, what's the fucking problem? He doesn't work. He's not a government official. I mean, you can, a lot of people hate Republicans now. They call Republicans Nazis. Everybody's a Nazi. It's all subjective. Like, whatever you want to believe is reality now. January 6th is Pearl Harbor. January 6th was worse than 9/11. And every year will go by, they'll keep exaggerating it more and more. They'll be like, January 6th, there was literally nuclear bombs dropped. Just like AOC was like... AOC, who I would actually call a TikTok politician. I mean, that's the level of, like... I mean... she got elected. I can't, you have to admit she did get elected, but she's just the worst. I mean, none of us were there. Like, I wasn't there. I didn't see if AOC got threats, like, and really was scared. Okay, I'm sure she was scared. I was scared just seeing the people going into the Capitol like that. I thought it was, like, more dangerous than it actually was. But, AOC just saying whatever after the fact. Just, I was getting Well, yeah, I'm sure she was getting. There's all trolls everywhere online. And, like, I guess, like, I feel like AOC is the type, like, if somebody says go die on Twitter, AOC seems like the type that would literally think that's a death threat, like that she has people about to kill her at January 6th. So I think that's what she meant. But I don't know. Maybe she did have people chasing her around. I don't know. But I just think she you can just make up reality now to fit whatever tribe you're in. So if you think Joe Rogan is the leader of white nationalists and he is the gateway to the alt-right. What is that? I saw that recently about Jordan Peterson, okay? That Jordan Peterson is a pipeline
to the alt-right.
What does that mean? What the fuck is a pipeline to the alt-right mean? I mean, I remember a couple of years ago, I didn't know anything about Jordan Peterson. And I just heard people talking about Jordan Peterson, and they go, this is how they preface describing who he was. They go, people say he's a Nazi. And I was like, oh, why? And they were like, I don't know. So there's no evidence that I could find that Jordan Peterson is even alt-right or even conservative. I don't even think he's... I've never even heard him defend, like, say he voted for Trump or anything. But he's just a Nazi, just like this symbol, this fake symbol that, like, you want to join the left-wing tribe, and you go, yes, Jordan Peterson obviously is a Nazi. He's worse than Hitler. That's like what people say now. They act like people are literally, like, when somebody says literally now, it, like, doesn't mean literally. You have to go, like, when somebody like AOC goes, I was literally afraid.
I was literally being killed at the Capitol riots. Somebody shot me literally and stabbed me. Okay? I was in danger of death.
I mean, you have to go, hearing someone say that now, you have to go, do you mean like literally, or like you're just saying like it was like literally, that you like literally, but not literally? And I don't mean to be sexist, but her voice does have that quality. I mean,
probably not this high, but like
closer to a bit, but not. Like, let's see, like go up a little.
I was literally like afraid for my life, literally. Okay.
And I remember like some interview AOC did when she first got in Congress, like talking about her rise to whatever. And Anderson Cooper asked her, like, do you think Trump is a racist, really? She goes,
yes, 100%.
And I'm like, how can you even say he is racist? I mean, I know a lot of the stuff he said about immigrants and like, I mean, I don't know. You could say like he caters to that crowd, maybe. Or you can say somebody seems racist, but like 100%, like she told it, like that's how she was talking about the Capitol riots. Like, I literally was gonna die. I mean, you've made the meaning of that go down. Like, there's no meaning anymore to anything. Somebody saying, she was talking about like Trump supporters. So like, and those are called Nazis, which they aren't Nazis. So that is objectively not true to call. Say what you want about the Maga Trump supporters, okay? But they are literally not Nazis, okay? I mean, maybe some are. Maybe there's some modern neo-Nazis that like Trump or liked him. But to say they are Nazis is not true. I mean, there's, you know, you don't have to like them. You can say they're like racist or whatever. I mean, that's subjective to me to say they're all racist. There's different reasons people did vote for Trump, but like calling someone a Nazi now, they do say like, oh, he's literally a Nazi, and it's like that's not the case. Calling Trump literally Hitler, that doesn't mean anything. But because it's a symbol of your movement and tribe, you say that. And you believe that Rogan is literally he's a pipeline. He needs to, oh, God. I mean, I just like, and it's kind of funny because I've always been, oh, I'm not going to pick a side. Like, I'm always like that kind of guy, like, because, you know, I was raised like conservative and, but I've never really felt like, or I mean, my family was conservative, Christian, whatever, but I've never declared a thing, you know. I've always been like, you know, I'm not going to pick a side. I'm not going to be political. I'm not going to. And I used to try to do that with stand-up. I don't want to pick a side. I don't want to be political. But it's like now you can't. You literally just. Now I'm doing it. You can't, like, be that anymore. There's no apolitical anything anymore. Everything ever is making a statement. You can't, like, live a life now without picking what tribe you're in. Now it is crazy because, I mean, God, I thought it got bad over the lockdown with, like, the, you know, the BLM stuff and the, you know, defund the police. I thought that was crazy. And then the burning down, like, fucking looting and burning down businesses, destroying. Oh, man, it's just like. But I do think it's mostly online, like I started to say at the beginning. Like the culture war, civil war, whatever you want to call it, like it's pretty much just it's mostly online now. Because everybody's online, it's basically an extension of life. So it's like we're not in the metaverse yet, but we kind of are because everybody's online so much and they're always on their phones that like we're basically already kind of in the Matrix type of thing. Like there's nowhere, like I walk around, like even if I'm walking around like physically in the world, I'm thinking about the online world. Like there's not a moment that goes by that I don't think about it. I mean, it sucks, but you know, like I went on a walk earlier, and I always bring my headphones because I'm like, what if I went on to listen to a podcast? I can't not be online. I mean, it's ridiculous. Sometimes I try to walk, not listen to something, and it's hard. And I'm like, but that's boring. And you know, that's why people do those like cleansing camping. They go like they're like, no phones. We're gonna go camping with no phones. Cut off the grid camping. We're gonna do a detox online. But it's like then you might go back online more than you were before. It's like this weird. Oh my God, man. Anyway, and I don't even really care about the Rogan thing because I just think he could easily leave Spotify, and he's rich now. He can leave Spotify. I give kudos. I give kudos to Spotify for not yet getting rid of him. Because, I mean, he made them a shitload of money. He started them doing video podcasts, I think. And I noticed a couple other podcasts using video on Spotify now, and I'm like, this is great. It just like sucks. It buffers and it like sucks. But but sometimes it works. So hopefully they figure it out. But this is what's funny. Like all those doctors that this is fucking ridiculous. I mean, they got 270, and that's what they smeared Rogan with. There's probably that many in New York City. That's probably like less than. I'm gonna just Google that real quick. Number of doctors in New York City. Active physicians in New York City. Wow. I was way underestimating. Well, I kind of have to, let's see, MDs. I don't know. How can I don't know. Total is a fucking lot. Number of active physicians. I mean, it says there's over 53,000 in the state of New York. Okay, there you go. That's way more than are upset at Rogan. God. And okay, they got 270 doctors. That's it. And of those 270, it says many of them aren't real medical doctors. Veterinarians, cannabis farmers. This is ridiculous, man. Don't even report this. Like, if you want to smear Rogan, just smear him. Don't go forward with a story of 200 doctors for having a conversation. He's not even telling people anything. He's not writing scripts for people. Unbelievable. And this is the whole thing where people go like, yeah, it's not censorship because it's a private company, okay? Spotify is a private company. It's not censorship. Yeah, but it is. I don't really care. I'm just sick of people saying that. It is censorship. Because it's not, he's not a doctor. Joe Rogan, first of all, it wasn't even him saying this shit. They're acting like Rogan is the one giving these opinions, and it was the doctors on the podcast. At least say that and not say it's just Rogan, UFC commentator. I mean, like, this is so fucking dumb. What kind of life do you have if you're just railing against Joe Rogan all day? A podcaster. Rogan needs
to be silenced now. He is literally Hitler. Literally.
I mean, it's just crazy that we're now into the medical world where we have tribes. Like, it was before. Like, the college campuses is where this social justice started, right? Then it became social media, then cancel culture started. And then Trump came, and then it was just anti-Trump everywhere. Constantly, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing what Trump's latest tweet was. Then it was like, defund the police, George Floyd. Anybody that didn't post a black square was a racist Nazi. And that was a crazy fucking, I mean, if people didn't realize how crazy it was then, I mean, just the fact that you wouldn't post a black square means you were silence as violence. I mean, you're a nutcase, okay? I mean, that really started to make me think, okay, we're like, wow. Maybe CERN, like, open portals to alien worlds. Maybe CERN did this. I don't know how that works, but CERN clearly opened a portal, and we are now in an alternate reality.
That is what happened. Literally, not in the same
universe. But that was really where people should have just, I mean, the thing with that was on Instagram, but like everybody heard about it. People that weren't even on social media. Oh my God, man. Even my company had to post something. my medical publisher company, they had to make a big long post about like, we're gonna shut down STEM or whatever because of it. Just didn't make sense. It just clearly was like a symbolic thing. Like how now January 6th has become that. It's a symbolic, fake, like, and it's kind of this whole thing. It almost ties into Me Too somehow. I guess it's that mass formation psychosis thing. There has to be something going on where it's like a mass psychosis. Period. It's not, it's not a new concept. It's like the Salem witch trial type of. Because with Me Too, everybody's threw out just like due process, and because they got real guys that were bad, like Harvey Weinstein. You didn't want to say, like, there's something weird about this. But, like, there's clearly that was, like, a mass psychosis starting because a lot of it was almost symbolic. Like, you had that whole thing where Hollywood actresses and actors were all, we're going to...
We're gonna wear black at the Oscars. We're gonna wear black, and that's gonna change shit. We're gonna go on a march and wear pussy hats. Symbolic. It's a symbolic movement.
And you couldn't say, why are you, like, this doesn't do anything? Like, why are you... It's clearly like a weird mass delusion thing. Where your tribe that you're in, you have a symbolic, like, we're wearing black to... It's now everything is a dystopian, like, tribe that everybody's in. I just always think of, like, the Mad Max type of, like, we're just all gonna be, like, in different, like, I mean, I guess we're almost lucky we have the internet because it's, like, mostly virtual that we're in these tribes, right? And then if you go out into the real world, like, nobody really acknowledges it. You're like, you go to the grocery store, and you don't know this, but, like, a lot of people that you walk by might be in these different tribes. You don't know, like, I mean, honestly, pretty soon, we're gonna have, like, visible, like, wristbands or something that's gonna, like, show what like, political party you're in. It'll be like, the unvaxxed versus the vaxxed thing. And that kind of started, too, with, like, voting. When Trump was in, people would start to wear, like, an I voted sticker and put it on social media. Pretty soon we're gonna have... like visible party affiliation stickers that we just walk around grocery stores and you'll be able to see. I mean, it's just crazy to me that the medical... Look, I understand why, like, I wanted everyone to get vaccinated too. I mean, I was pro lockdown at first. I was like pro mask at first. And at a certain point, I think you should be pro those things if it's bad enough. It was bad when I started. I thought, yes, let's do this for a little bit. But now it's a symbolic gesture. It doesn't mean anything. Getting vaccinated now, I don't even know if it means anything because everybody's getting Omicron. So why can't you, like the president doesn't even say, why can't you just be honest and say, I don't know if it really, let's be smart, but like, I don't know if we need to, like, demonize the unvaccinated the same way. What doesn't make any sense. It's symbolic, and it's a weird tribal thing. Saying January 6th is 9/11, I mean, you're delusional. It's a symbolic tribal thing. It's the same thing to me as, like, when Ash Wednesday comes around and people used to wear the ash on their forehead. That's the same thing as, like, pussy hats. And, like, when Trump was in, I remember there was, like, women, they would have the women's march, and there was one year where there was a group of women that dressed as the Handmaid's Tale and walked around in a group, and I thought, this is fucking weird. Because it's clearly not as bad as that show. but to them it is, because they're in the tribe and they want to they want it to seem like, oh, I mean, I can't even really explain how crazy it is. I mean, I used to think, oh, they obviously know that it's not as bad as The Handmaid's Tale, right? But I'm not sure they do know that. I mean, when you have people saying that January 6th is as bad as 9/11, and then there's really no mainstream correction. I mean, now when people call people literally Hitler, I mean, there's clearly nothing. Facts aren't real to people now. Everything is a subjective belief. That's it. So if you want somebody to be a Nazi, you just think they're a Nazi, and you join your little tribe, and then you wear your wristband to go to the grocery store. I mean, the Vax ID. I just don't see how that doesn't happen. I mean, pretty soon we will walk around with just like a visible ID of what political party you're in. And I mean, we already have like pretty clear divides with states. Some states are just not having masks at all, and they're just like anti-vaccines, and then other states are like still having mask mandates, unfortunately, where I live. And I mean, yeah, I just don't see how it doesn't go there, where you just walk around with like a visible wristband. I mean, that was happening when the George Floyd protests were happening. Like, I would see people walk around with giant billboards that were just like, "Black people are people," and I'm just like, why are you? Yes, I agree. What the fuck is this? It's clearly not about what people say it's about. It's really weird. So anyway, I guess this was more of a ranty episode, but that's everybody get your wristband.
And we're gonna go to the store. I gotta get my Democrat sachet, and that's
The resistance is still running. We are still resisting Trump. Guys, you want to join my anti-Trump protest? Trump will be long dead, and they'll still be doing. Guys, you want to join my anti-Maga protest? Meet me outside. I'm going to be protesting Rogan. I'm going to the Spotify in Manhattan. I'm just going to go by myself unless anybody wants to join me. So yeah.
I'm sure it's going to get worse.
I just can't believe this shit about Rogan, and now just everything being a political stance. Now every year, January 6th, they're going to bring it up again. And I mean, a lot of people, like, there's younger people that probably... I don't know. Anyway, I apologize for everything. Go ahead and
cancel me. I apologize, and I think cancel culture is good. It's good to do that. Everything's good. Anything, I'm on the right side of history, just remember.
Thanks for listening to my podcast. The
right side of history. Like and subscribe.
And we're going to march for whatever cause. We're going to wear the hat. We're going to wear whatever color we need to wear to show that we're a good person. How many things are you going to need in the future? You're going to need to wear your political ID wristband. You're going to need to wear black for, like, Me Too. And then you're going to need to wear I love vaccines name card. And Rogan is a Nazi, literally, shirt. A lot of statements. It's going to be hard to walk around wearing all this stuff, but that's how you're going to have to do it.
So, yeah. Just remember, if you listen to this podcast, this is a pipeline to Nazis. You listening to this is a pipeline to Nazis. I don't know how to...
And guys, just know that I am on the right side, and you're on the wrong side. I'm in the right tribe, and you're in the wrong tribe. Join me, and we're gonna protest, or we're not going to. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how to end, just like, I don't know. We'll see how things go, guys. Yeah. I just want to be on the
right side of history. That's all I want. Okay, for the new year, that's all I want to ask Santa for. Just let me be on the right side of history.